Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today we're having Greek yogurt, almond butter, frozen blueberries. All right, let's talk about misgrooving lifts because this is something that you see a lot of lifters talk about, and they talk about missing a lift because they misgrooved it. And they'll say that on one rep maxes that people miss, and they will say it on rep work, right? Well, I lost my tightness, I lost my groove. I misgrooved, that's why I couldn't complete all 10 reps. My, my grip started giving out. That's why they couldn't keep their wrists upright on the bench or an overhead press. The problem with that is that this is a bullshit cop out, right? It's not based on reality. Now, 3 rep maxes and stuff, sure, and that's why I never prescribe those. I don't let any of my lifters do two to 5 rep maxes. We don't do that. We don't train that way. Because, yeah, you do lose tightness, and that's how you get hurt. But if we are misgrooving lifts, we are either weak or we are out of shape. And it's important to understand which of those we're dealing with. It's important for you to know that. Because if you don't, you're never going to fix it. Because a person can't admit what causes them to miss this lift, they don't have a solution to fix it and get stronger. Because you want to know the truth, when you misgroove a lift, you were too weak to lift it. That's it. If you were stronger, you would have got the lift. And this is particularly something that we learn with conjugate training. It's one of the big important keys to it, of rotating max effort work, right? And we do that, to prevent stagnation, to program people's brains to think like a winner, to always be PRing. We do it to avoid overuse, right? Those are big parts of it. But what we also do it for is to teach lifters to grind through when a bar gets out of its ideal path. And that's part of the skill of strength. That's why maxing out is a skill. People say maxing out is not a skill. Sure it is. It's a skill. It's the ability to push through and grind when a weight feels too heavy and something goes wrong. That is a skill. We're used to misgrooving every week because we're doing new lifts all the time. We're doing lifts that we haven't practiced, and yet we lock them out. Why? Because it's a training system where we maximize strength. We get stronger all the time, unless we're cutting or unless we got hurt. And if we're always getting stronger, it's because we're building more muscle tissue in all of our weak links. And it's because we're practicing maxing. Sorry, my face itches today. I have to scratch all of it. Might be a little distracting for the camera. But we don't have these problems because we learn to deal with things misgrooving. And when you learn to deal with things misgrooving, it teaches you something. It teaches you that if you misgroove and miss, it's because you were weak, not because of the misgroove. You have to get stronger. I'll give you perfect examples. Someone's on a bench press, right? And they go to bench, and it comes up, and the bar gets too far forward, too far over their face. And they're like, oh, I misgrooved it. You didn't misgroove anything. Your triceps are weak. You missed that lift because your triceps weren't strong enough. It's what causes that to happen, weak triceps. Your triceps aren't strong enough to lock the last half of the lift. Your body knows it, and it compensates by trying to bring it further forward so you can use more anterior deltoid to make up for your weak triceps. They go to lower the bar. Well, I lost my tightness on the eccentric. I lost my tightness and I couldn't get into the right groove right off the chest. No, you have weak ass pecs and lats. Okay? Because there's no way you're not getting tight for a single. Did you not lay down and say, oh, I better focus? You're telling me you can't focus and stay tight for a single rep? Bullshit. Maybe you need to be doing more high rep work then so that you learn to stay tight for 10 reps. No, you were weak. That's why you missed it. That's why you missed it. Okay? Because we can follow through with these things. And that's what we see too. Let's say someone goes to do a good morning, or not a good morning, they go to do a squat. And as they're starting to come up, the hips shoot up too quick. Now, keeping in mind, there are different things going on with back versus quad weakness. Hips shoot up too quick, and on the way up, they have to good morning the squat a little bit more. Okay? Because their back is stronger than their quads. They're still making the lift, by the way. So they're still going to make the lift usually. But what's causing that? Weak quads. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone whose squat is forward leaning is weak quads, because usually your squat's going to be stronger when you lean forward. We're talking about a visible shift on the way up around at least the halfway mark. Okay, you probably need more quads. If it's happening near the bottom, that is not. It has nothing to do with your quads. But when you see that, how about that one? Guys are going to come out of the hole. They're like, I misgrooved it out of the hole and it started good morninging. You didn't misgroove it. You have a weak lower back. That's what happened. Same thing we get over to rep work. I couldn't stay tight. No, you're out of shape. You're either out of shape or you're weak. Okay? People are losing their tightness because they can't breathe. They don't have the muscular endurance to stay tight for 10 reps. They're out of shape. A person can't keep their wrist locked on a bench press for 10 reps or any press. They have weak forearms and a weak grip. Or they're just out of shape. So if you're having these problems, you're misgrooving on lifts that you should have got. Okay, you can calculate all maxes, you can look at things, or someone's able to get 10 reps with reps in reserve, right? They didn't hit failure on the first set. The third set, they're hitting 7 reps and misgrooving. Well, you're out of shape in that case. If you took long enough breaks to recover, those breaks are more than 3 minutes, and you didn't get really failure, you had at least a rep in reserve on the first set of 10, and you can't even you're hitting 7 reps on the third set of 10, you're out of shape. Work on your conditioning. If you can't stay tight, you're weak. You have muscles that you need to fix. You can't stay tight. Well, is your core weak? Is your grip weak? What's causing it? Is your upper back weak? All right? These are solutions. When you understand the cause of these things, you can fix them. When we're in denial of what's causing it and we just misgrooved, that's a bullshit excuse. And if we can't come to terms and admit our own bullshit, we can't make progress. So it's important that we do that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.